Welcome to Syd and Malcolm. And Syd, could you introduce our special guest?
I sure can. We've been blessed for many, many years to have the passion and the dedication of Reverend Denise Pickett, who has been with us since we started, I think, with the New York Yankees in
Yes.
2003 or four, when she became our go-to person to have food that was prepared but not sold at Yankee Stadium feed the denominations and the minions of the South Bronx. And Reverend Denise was the minister at the Wooded Crest United Methodist Church at that time. And we have just grown from there to become, I would say, not just friends, but people that are sharing the passion that only comes from the hard work and seeing how much more there is to do that we even haven't done yet.
Yes.
Okay, Denise, you're on.
I'm just so thankful to be able to have this relationship with Syd and Diane and Rock and Wrap It Up. It began, like Syd said, years ago when I was serving the church at Woody Crest United Methodist Church in the South Bronx. And it all started with me picking up the phone and calling Yankee Stadium to see if they had some summer jobs for kids. And they said, no, we've done our hiring already, but I do have someone I can put you in touch with. And it was a surprise. And I made that call to Syd. And ever since then, we have been in a relationship, become friends. We are very passionate about feeding people, about even, I thought about it, Syd, yesterday, what different programs you have gotten us into with the TV crews. We've picked up food from there with the hotels. We've picked up from several hotels, the Ritz-Carlton, I think Marriott, a few others, Hannah's Project, and certainly even I believe we did a couple of concerts as well, and certainly sports rap. The Yankees and Citi Field, let's see what else, Madison Square Garden, and I believe the stadium in New Jersey have all just been, it's been tremendous work. But I'm just blessed, the churches are blessed, and also the other partners that we have that we help supply food and stuff to as well.
I think the important thing for us is that Rock and Wrap It Up has always tried to be a anti-poverty think tank, not just for hunger,
Right.
but for anything that deals with a population that has continual crises. And we have, we kind of jump at opportunities that come our way. I never say no to anyone, which is good and bad, because sometimes it puts Denise and my partners in awkward situations to do pickups, you know, Mark Schnell. But the reality is, let me just get rid of this call. Dill, I'll call you back. I'm on the air. Okay, love you. My son from San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We have found that by being available, Malcolm, it's 90% of the time that other agencies are not. And we are one of the agencies that if you call us, we are answering to the greater need of the people that we feed or the people that we share our assets with. And I wake up every morning thinking I'm not doing enough. That's what drives us, because this is so Sisyphusian, where every day, you know, there are millions of people that need the services that we can offer. And I really empower the people that donate to us because it's so important to manage those people over you as well as those people with you and under you. The reality is that if you share the successes that you have with the donors, they in turn will think of you when other opportunities arise. And that's one of the amazing things that have happened, that we empower others to serve God and to serve their passions for changing the world, because we've given them the opportunity, and we just become a recipient, but they're the ones that think up. I had something in the last couple of months, which actually Denise had gotten. One of our neighbors' family makes wigs. And we were given over 3,000 wigs to give out to agencies, but mainly to cancer centers. Sloan Kettering, Mount Sinai, Hackensack, all got hundreds and hundreds of wigs.
Yes.
Through us. And we were going through the garage a couple of weeks ago, and I found a box of wigs, which I don't know why it got to the bottom of a pile, but there they were, 75 wigs, all in plastic. And one of our recipients from 3 years ago is a woman named Allison Arts, who has a salon, a very high-end salon in Hewlett called Ambiance Salon. But she has such an amazingly great heart that one Monday a month, she found about a program called Mondays at Racine. And that program takes and offers women that are going through chemo and other radiation and dealing with their cancers, and gives them a spa day at her salon at no cost to them. And that's her give back. And she has employees that should be off, but come in to do this. And I
Marvelous, yeah.
emailed her. I emailed her, and she said, Syd, oh my God, I could really use the wigs. So about an hour ago, Diane and I drove over there and drove her the wigs, and she started to cry, because she knows the value of those for women in crisis, or women that are looking to have a dignity at a time when it's undignified. Physically, they are a mess. Mentally, they're at wit's end.
Yes.
But that they could have an afternoon of beauty, an afternoon of going back to where they hopefully will go to after they've done their treatments. So we always leave there with tears in our eyes, because I know what Allison does. And so that's the kind of stuff that falls in our lap. It only motivates us to do more, because when you see and hear, and people don't know who we are, which is just fine. You know, we go in there, and I just thank them. I say, God bless my neighbors, Chaim and Debbie Sabo, whose mother owned the wig company and decided to donate to us. You know, but that's the kind of thing that is so important, because you want to share the passion with others so they become even more passionate than you.
Yes.
Because they're the ones who will then go out and do the work that's needed to handle these crises that happen. Denise?
Yeah.
It's amazing, Syd. You know, I just have a heart for what I do, because I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't have, you know, a heart for it, didn't have this passion for it. And I think others also feel my passion and know what it is. I have some volunteers who come from the Bronx. Whenever I say, you know, we're going to distribute food, they are, only one really drives out the group, and she picks up 3 others from across the Bronx and brings them up. And, you know, they really help to manage, you know, bagging up the food and distributing the food and all those kinds of things. And so what I did the other day, Syd and Malcolm, I have one person that's having a hip replacement on Thursday. And so I had a massage therapist come uh, on Friday before we gave out the stuff and give everybody chair massages because I know what it is to have some back surgery and go through various things, and I just came through COVID, having a really bad response to it, and I said, you know what, I need to be able to take care of these ladies because anytime I call, it doesn't make a difference what time of the day, they're ready. And so you're absolutely right. People will certainly respond to you. I believe in radical hospitality. So even when people come, not just my staff, but I have gotten them doing certain things now when they greet the people on the street. And it's just a blessing to be able to do what we do. I have met so many, the folks at Yankee Stadium. Anytime I am with them, when they have the Thanksgiving meal that they do for the community, they always bless us and call us and say, we have food left, blah, blah, blah. But let me just share something else that came out of our relationship with the Yankees and picking up food. I believe it was one day, one late night, 11 o'clock at night, we went to pick up food. And one of the managers, either Shiv or Anthony actually, asked us, he says, what do you think about doing a concession stand? And they offered us the opportunity, Woody Crest, the opportunity to raise funds through their agency for the church and for our soup kitchen. And so I mean, like you said, the opportunities, you just never know where they're going to come from or when they're going to come up. And I just always thank you, Syd, for what you have done to help us and to help other agencies in distributing the food and toilet paper and all kinds of great things to help people get through a day, a crisis.
You know something, I'm not a religious person, and sometimes I was talking to the Reverend Harper. Sometimes I'm not even sure if I believe in God because there's so many weird things in the world, and I'm definitely against organized religion per se. Because I've always found out that when whatever it is, whether it be Christian, Catholicism, or Judaism, they're praying too much to God. I mean, literally, they're asking for God's forgiveness, for extolling Him. But in the last few weeks with Syd and the people that he's had helping him, it's where I see the need for the clergy that goes out to help people, not to help God. God doesn't need the help. But the people in their parish, the people in the community, they're the ones that need help. And you guys are going out to help them. And to me, that's where the church should focus. And it seems you're doing it that way.
We believe in outreach. I believe in reaching out to people. When we picked up from Yankee Stadium, we would go immediately and bring bags and all kinds of things to feed people that were on the sidewalks or under the bridges. And when we pick up from Madison Square Garden, I have a couple of people go with me. We prepare bags and we go around Madison Square Garden from one block to the next and literally give people food because they're on the street and they're hungry. And who's going to do it? If we have clothing or blankets, we do the same thing. And it's been so, it just fills up my heart that I'm not only, it's not about me, but it's about truly what I do for God, because even though, yes, but that's what these hands are for. That's what my feet are for. That I might be, because I'm blessed to have good health, I'm able to do what I do. And so it's just moving. And like Syd says, my nephew Thomas, who knows Syd and Syd knows him, I raised him, and he says, he's been there every step of the way, you know, and he says, remember when we went to the supermarket and cleaned out the supermarket and all kinds of things. And so it's about giving back. It's about touching somebody else and helping them to better see that we are blessed to be a blessing to someone else.
Well, a very small aspect, I remember, I don't know if I told the story here, but when I went to group therapy, I found out I felt the best and fulfilled when I could help someone else and they were having a problem and they felt connected to me, that I didn't tell them what to do, but I was just there. And they had that sincere feeling, you know, and looked at me and thanked me, and that made me feel so warm. So in a small degree, I know what you're talking about, of that inner feeling of giving.
Yes.
One of the things that we had happen at the very beginning of the charity, we had a very big write-up in Rolling Stone magazine in January 1996, about 25 years ago. And we got literally thousands of people reaching out to us, either phone calls. At that time, they would fax, they would do things that they didn't have an internet really as much. And I would get from so many people that I was lost, but you helped me become found, because I didn't feel comfortable in a church, but I feel I could serve God in a higher spirit through feeding the hungry. And it didn't occur to me, because I am a religious person, I do pray every day and have most of my life, that we don't want to replace God, but we want to take someone's passion that is and somehow lost to a small degree in their head and in their heart, and give them an activity, a vocation that they could fill that opening with, that they need. And I had hundreds of people to this day that serve God through feeding the hungry. And what better way of serving God than feeding the hungry? And they get to understand that. You know, what I just wrote a poem a couple of days ago, and it was called 7 Days a Week. And it basically said that the Bible was written by people. It was written by the prophets. And it said, it starts out, and God worked 6 days a week, and he rested on the seventh day. And that was written. And I kind of thought about that. And I said, you know, not to play devil's advocate, but I don't believe that God takes a day off. I think man needs the day off. And I know, you know, that if God took a couple of days off, well, look what happened. The Holocaust happened, the Crusades, Krakatoa, a comet that killed all the dinosaurs. So I don't believe God takes days off, but I believe that God knows that man needs a day off, and to best serve God, man has to be refreshed, man has to be rested, man has to be able to go back. So mankind is a better servant of God when he or she works 6 days a week and takes the day off. And that's what the 7 days a week poem was about.
Interesting.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
But again, my question is not to be blasphemous, but why are we serving God? Why aren't we serving people? Why aren't we serving for the goodness? Why does it have to be broken up into a religious category? Why, as a Methodist, you're different from an Episcopalian or someone that's Jewish or a Muslim, when we're all after the same goal, is to make the world a better place? Why isn't there more unity?
Well, I have to tell you that on the macro level, 90% of all of our partners are faith-based. And that is why we have to work in a group, because there are not any other institutions that we can work with that we would have the success that we have with clergy. So I don't believe in government feeding the hungry. I don't believe in bureaucracy feeding the hungry. I believe in people that believe they can make a difference, which is clergy. And I am just, we are blessed to have the partnership that we have across this country, probably across the world. But you know, no one is more philanthropic than Americans. We couldn't do this in France because there were not enough agencies in France that would go out and do food recovery for us. And we found that, you know, years ago when we tried to reach and launch in Europe, it just doesn't exist. The philanthropy, the give back is on a different level. It's very, very micronized to their own institutions. They will help those in their flock that are at risk because of changes in life, job, health. So their denominations help their own. But in the United States, we have a much broader sense of people, and we do all work together, Malcolm. I know you may not see it as we see it, but the lines that are in front of Denise's church in White Plains would be all denominations of people.
Absolutely.
And when we give out at Thanksgiving or Christmas, it is need blind, it's gender blind, it's creed blind, it's color blind, because poverty is that insipid across all of these groups. So yes, it could be the banner of God, but the reality is we are there to help those people that identify themselves as being of need. And we never question why they are of need. And I ran a soup kitchen for many, many years in Rockaway, Queens. And I would have to tell the volunteers that came in that never ask why someone is going through the door. If they know that we are giving food out, that's enough. That knowledge that we're giving food out and they have put themselves in a position to ask for that food is enough for me. I don't have to know why. There's no reason for me to know why someone is there, because number one, there's a good chance I can't help them in any other way except feeding them. I don't profess to have answers with psychologists or sociologists or reasons why people have done stuff in their past. I don't know why. All I know is, as Denise said, for that day, we know we have fed them.
Right, it's a here and now.
That they could move on to another day. And that really is the commonality that all of our volunteers and all of our partners understand, that for us to be successful is to understand that we are so small in the pecking order. All we're there to do is to have them live one more day.
Right, till tomorrow.
And that's what I teach, and that's what I profess, and that's what I explain. People have grandiose ideas. I had people at our soup kitchen, oh, I want to hear about, why did your father have sex with you? Why was your mother beaten by her brother? Really? What's that going to do for us? It interferes in some ways, but it's not like we don't have services we can't recommend them to. There are other things that are done that we know where to send them. But if you're coming in to feed the hungry, that is what I want you to do.
Yeah, but as said, from all these weeks that we've had our show together and we've been talking and you've been introducing me to various people, sort of like Denise, you almost serve as a magnet. You have that good instinct and the organization, and people are drawn to you to do good, which is very admirable. As a matter of fact, is there an honorary degree that he could get as a minister? Because that's what actually he's doing. He's doing God. I know he's modest, but he's doing God's work. If we're talking like that, he's helping people.
He's very modest, very modest. And any opportunity that comes his way. He's always reaching out to one of the agencies that are connected to him and partnering with him. And he has people that I just am thankful for, not just with their donations, but and Sid can tell you the number of volunteers. If you count up all the volunteers with all the agencies that he has blessed and touched, it's got to be thousands. And so there is a need on the ground, and he's making it possible. Trinity is called the House of Hope, and we are offering people hope every day. And I'm not one that stays inside the doors of the church all the time. I believe, as John Wesley, who was the founder of Methodism, says, the world is our parish. And so it doesn't make a difference where or how. If there is a need, I'm going to try to help someone along the way.
Yeah, is there a ministry or an area that you cover, that you have? Do you have
Trinity
services?
United Methodist Church. I'm the pastor at Trinity United Methodist Church in White Plains, New York, which is a part of the New York Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church. We're a connectional system, and we believe in mission. And the United Methodist Church does mission all across the world. And so I got this passion from growing up in a church in Harlem that my grandmother took me to every week, all the time. And the minister that was there at the time growing up, the Reverend William James, who believed in not only feeding the people, but housing the people, just all kinds of outreach. He believed in social justice. And I obviously internalized some of that growing up, which has given me the passion for what I do today.
Where could people reach you? How would they get in contact with you or your church? Do you have an email,
they can
website?
certainly reach me through Trinity United Methodist Church, Trinity UMC, White Plains, at gmail.com.
Yeah.
And church number is 914-761-3605. I want to thank Syd and you for certainly just inviting me to be a part of this podcast.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if the podcast basically is on the internet. It's on malcolmpresents.com, and and you go down to Syd and Malcolm, and basically we talk, or you can go over to YouTube.
Okay.
And put malcolmpresents.com or YouTube Syd and Malcolm, and we're on. It's amazing.
I'm gonna have a copy of this on my Facebook page, which you could cut and paste on a copy link.
And we would appreciate if you could send this out to your contacts, because as I always put at the end of the thing, spread the word.
Okay, absolutely. It's been wonderful.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your continued work. And I look forward one time to meeting Syd, also to traveling into New York. I'm out in the wilds of California, Southern California, Los Angeles.
Okay.
So anyway, excuse me?
If I come out to California, I'm usually in Sacramento, that area of California, which is north.
Is there a local church here in the San Fernando Valley they could take a look at if I wanted to do the services?
I'm going to try to, I'll think of who's out on that side and certainly send you some information.
Okay, I'd appreciate that. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for the show and your good work, and I will see you when I see you.
Yes, bless you.
Bye.
Denise, I love you.
Love you too, my dear.
Okay,
and
bye.
We'll see you soon. Okay.